Hi guys, my name is Trinity, and if you are here, you must be here to talk about books. Today I am going to be doing my June wrap-up. Sorry it is coming so late. My last 2 weeks of life have been really hectic. I've been dealing with some personal stuff, and then vacation hit. I was only supposed to be out for 2 days, but man, it took its toll on me, and so I had to take a little bit of a break, but I'm back and I'm here to do my June wrap up. So in the month of June, I read 12 books, but DNF'd 2 of them, only giving me 10 that I actually read for the month. I read 5 fantasy novels, 6 science fiction novels, and 1 thriller. My page count for June was 4,727, which is kind of low for me. It's not like the worst I've done, but it's pretty low. It's pretty low. Okay, so I don't have the books sitting beside me because I just got back from vacation, so I'm trying to do this wrap up, before I lose steam. So the first book I read, so I'm going to be putting images up here, but the first book I read was House of Night by Holly Black. This is the second Fairy Loot book that I've read. I really enjoyed it. Now, let me start this off by saying if you've enjoyed Holly Black in the past, then there's a good chance you will like this book. If you have not enjoyed Holly Black in the past, there's a good chance you will not like this book. Do not be fooled by the fact that Holly Black has moved into adult. Her themes stay the same. So the writing is better. The exploration of trauma is a lot better in this book. But if you didn't like her young adult stuff, you're not going to like this book. It's not really a step away from what Holly Black has done in the past. It's just her using what she knows in an adult setting with adult characters. So, I really enjoyed it. I know quite a few other people have really enjoyed it, but I have seen the general consensuses. If you didn't like Holly Black before, this book is not going to change your mind. Oh, and the next book I read would be Truth of the Divine by Lindsay Ellis. Now, if you guys have been watching, you will know I absolutely loved the first book of this series. Loved it so much. I think I even gave it 4.5 stars for a first book in a series. That's pretty high for me. However, Truth of the Divine, I DNF'd. And I DNF'd this one because I did not like Lindsay Ellis's exploration of PTSD. I thought a lot of it was really poorly done. And the thought process, I get that trauma is different for everyone, and it doesn't present the same way for anyone. But the way it was handled and the way the people in her life handled it was really bad. It was really bad. And I just got sick of reading it. And, there's this whole, is she going to fall in love with an alien? That part I don't mind at all. I just didn't like the way it was handled. So I ended up DNFing Truth of the Divine. Next was a reread for me, and that would be A Pilgrimage of Swords by Anthony Ryan. These novellas pack a punch. They are so good. And so I do think these novellas can be a little confusing at first because you're not really sure what's going on. However, Anthony Ryan's writing is so good, you kind of just get wrapped up in it anyway. And I really enjoy this novella series. I am currently rereading it because I do have an arc of the 4th one and I've only read the first 2. So I am rereading it, trying to make it to that 4th book. But if you like fantasy that is a little outside the box, I would definitely recommend this novella series. They are fantastic. The next book that I read would be Resistance Reborn by Rebecca Rowan Horse. And yes, it's a Star Wars book. You guys know I'm a little bit obsessed with Star Wars. I enjoyed this book. Do I think it added anything to the story that we didn't already know? No, but it was fun to be with these characters again. And I really liked Poe in this book. I thought that the fact that they played on his insecurities in this book was really good. And it was just fun to be with these characters again. If you like Star Wars, if you like the new movies, I would say give it a try, just because, like I said, if you enjoy these characters, it's just more of them. So, not that it adds anything to the story that wasn't already there, but it was fun. Another one that was just fun, Ice Planet Barbarians. Now, I have a tendency to go to romance whenever my brain just is like, why are we reading all of these complicated books? I don't want to do it anymore. And I heard Ice Planet Barbarians was pretty cute, and it is. It is sexy. It is very, very NSFW, so be careful reading this in public. But I thought the way the story played out was pretty dang cute. And I thought that the beginning part of it is very trigger warning, like kind of awful. There is women who have been kidnapped and are being tortured and abused. So the very beginning of it is kind of eek. But the rest of the book is actually really good, and it's really cute, and I love the way it played out, and I love the relationships that are established in it. It's really short, so I can see why some people really gravitate towards this series, because you get a quick little romp with aliens and then you can move on. But I did really, really enjoy Ice Planet Barbarians. And then I read Ready Player One. Now, this was supposed to be part of a vlog that I have been trying to do for at least 6 months, and I failed. Because I got wrapped up in the readathon stuff. But I did read Ready Player One, and I did read it because my friend Ben recommended it to me. And again, this was a fun book. Do I think it is the best sci-fi novel you will ever read? No, I don't. But if you're looking for something that is fast-paced and will definitely bring that factor of gotta see what's gonna happen next, Ready Player One will deliver. It will definitely deliver. Do I plan to read Ready Player Two? I have no idea. I have been told, do not do it. It is not worth it, like so many times. Now, my friend Andrew, I need to trust him more, because whenever I pick up a book that I know I shouldn't, and he's told me not to, he's always right. So Ready Player Two might just be one of those that I keep in the back of my mind and consider, but probably will never actually read. The next book I read was The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. This was a Book of the Month offering, and I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. So as far as thrillers go for Book of the Month, this has probably been my favorite that I've read. And this does make me very excited to read more Lucy Foley. There are twists and turns in here that you absolutely could not see coming. And so I found it to be thoroughly enjoyable. Lucy Foley's writing is really good. She does have a tendency to really slow the pacing down sometimes, though. I did find those parts of it kind of boring, but that gave it a 4.5 in my mind, not a 4. And it's almost a 5-star read. If it hadn't been for those parts where it really just slowed down like hardcore, I would have absolutely loved this book. It probably would have been my favorite thriller that I've ever read. It is my favorite thriller that I have read from Book of the Month, though. And so that makes me really excited to pick up, again, more Lucy Foley and more Book of the Month offerings, because this one was really, really great. And now, if you don't know what this one is about, there is a girl who has come to live with her brother. Her brother goes missing. She goes on an investigation to figure out what's happened to her brother, and finds out the people in the apartment that he's living in, like the apartment complex he's living in, they're not so great people and they're not so honest. So she's discovering what's going on with everybody there, while also trying to discover what's happening or what has happened to her brother. Then I read Hotel Magnifique. I really enjoyed Hotel Magnifique, not as much as I had hoped. I did know going into this that there were going to be elements of the book that I didn't like. However, I really did enjoy the character exploration in this book, which is not typical of something that I really enjoy. So, while it had elements that were really kind of slow, like we have a slow build to the horror, which is gothic in some ways, but it also didn't really pack the punch in the end that I expect from a gothic horror. So that element is a little weak to me, but I did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. And I would say if you're looking for a young adult that just is a little outside of the box, Hotel Magnifique could definitely fit the bill. And for the big sci-fi that I didn't listen to Andrew about, Leviathan Wakes. I was told by Andrew time and time again, do not read this book. And I didn't listen. So I can't even tell you what happened in what I read of Leviathan Wakes. I don't remember. It has left my brain. It's completely gone. But I had been told by a few people, do not read Leviathan Wakes. You will not like it. They were right. I can't even remember what the story was about. I just know that I got about 30% into it, and man, I was bored. I was very, very bored. Now, the next one that I read was KK, and I have a full review for that one, so I won't talk too much about it, other than to say that I really enjoyed it. It was not what I expected. Like, the level of writing that I was expecting was like Circe or Sister Song, and it just didn't quite deliver, but I still gave it 4 stars. I still really enjoyed it. I just wish the writing would have been a little bit more elevated, a little bit more like magical, but it was a story that I enjoyed on its own without comparing it to Circe or Sister Song. It was a 4-star book. And the last one that I read for June would be The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. I loved it. I did say whenever I picked it up that I did hope it had some of those elements of Robin Hobb and the Live Ship Traders, and it did. Now, it's not a rip of Live Ship at all, but there were certain elements of Live Ship that I have really loved. And R.J. Barker did bring them into the Bone Ships. And yes, I do think R.J. Barker is going to become a favorite author for me. But that is it for my wrap up today. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.